This week, we are talking the Nintendo Direct, the real reason why Steve Carrel left the office, a new Clone Wars review, and some of our picks for entertainment during the COVID-19 quarantine on Your Herd with Nerds.
Welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian.
And today we got some nerd news for you. Nintendo actually had a Direct, but it was not anywhere near what I thought it would be, and it was called the Direct Mini.
Right, which they've done these in the past, like just to kind of fill in a gap between like a Direct and maybe E3 or something like that.
To me, it's just odd that they do a mini versus like an actual Direct. Now I get it because they'll probably, since there's no E3, since there's none of that, they'll probably end up making their reveals then instead of having their like. Because usually you could go play the demos, like they'll reveal it, and they would reveal it in March, and then you could go play the demo in when's E3, like summer? I don't know.
June usually, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm guessing is in June we'll probably get the Direct. So
I mean, possibly. I mean, it's kind of hard to say what's going to be going on now, seeing how E3 is canceled. They don't necessarily have a obligation to like put something out like this June. They could like maybe hold it or maybe do it sooner. I mean, just kind of all depends. But no, I mean, it's kind of interesting because this Direct, because we just got a Animal Crossing Direct like just a little bit ago. Yeah. And this one just kind of came out of nowhere here.
Oh, it was straight up like incognito, silent drop. Nobody knew about it.
No, I remember, I just remember like looking at my phone at work. I'm like, wait, there's a Direct? Like this wasn't announced. Like what's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, what are some of the games that caught your eye on this here? Like, anything in particular?
Yeah, I mean, no and yes. I would say like the cool news. Here's the deal.
Yeah,
it's a catch-22 with a lot of them because I am predominantly a Switch player, but I do have PlayStation 4 as well. Mm-hmm. They announced that BioShock is coming to the Switch, which a lot of people had speculated.
Right, and I think we even talked about it on one of our shows here.
And so as soon as I heard this, like, I'll probably touch, and I looked on PS4 and it's $15.
Yeah, I mean,
so I was like,
this is going to be probably at least like
it'll be $40,
$50,
easy.
Like starting out here, and it's like
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, plus, I mean, you're talking like this is going to be like the less graphically power. Yeah.
So yeah, what's the point of that? So here's kind of my thing with the Direct. Mm-hmm. It touched on a lot of games I did not care about.
Yeah.
One of their big ones was the Xenoblade Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Which I've never played Xenoblade.
Me neither, but I mean, Tim Seabrecht swears up and down by that game. He says it's like, one of the best JRPGs that's come out in the last 10 years. And so I'll probably just touch on it just because I've heard good things about it. And I do like to play a good, JRPG.
Oh yeah, I love JRPGs. I think if they now is the Definitive Edition like better graphics?
I mean, it definitely looks like better graphics. It seems like it's a graphical upgrade from like when it was out on the Wii, and it also is coming with like extra content. I guess like it's has like an epilogue now.
Right. I think that was already released though recently because this came out on Switch already, right?
Oh, the Definitive Edition?
No, Xenoblade.
Xenoblade? No.
Oh, I thought it did.
No. It was originally released on the Wii, and then they did like a 3DS port of it, which apparently I hear that's not the best way to play this game. So this is probably, for lack of a better word, and pardon the pun, but the definitive way to play this game here, from what I gather.
Yeah, so that along with Trials of Mana.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool. There's a demo out for that. I started playing it. It's really hard.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Well, I just don't know the battle system because I didn't play Bravely Default on 3DS.
Okay, yeah.
Like Seabrecht did, and he actually loved that game, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he did like Bravely Default, which that was another game that was covered in this Direct too, which, it's looking better than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, I just still don't like really the art style that they're going with. Here's very like DS, 3DS kind of models, where they're like very short and chibi and all that. But I mean,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that either.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Yeah. So Xenoblade 2, is that what this is?
Well, Xenoblade 2 is the game that came out on Switch.
Okay, so that's what I was confused by. Okay. So Xenoblade Definitive Edition is not Xenoblade 2.
No, it is not.
It's a whole different game.
It's the game that came before it here. So it's like the first Xenoblade game.
Oh. That's what I was super confused on.
Okay.
So, because it looked just like Xenoblade 2, and I'm like, why are we getting another one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind trying Xenoblade 2. Like, it got great scores on everything.
Yeah.
Like, 4.5 out of 5, 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the JRPGs are such a time sink.
Oh,
So,
they very
in
much
quarantine right now, guys, this would probably be a very good game for you to get.
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade 2 or the BioShock collection, because the BioShock collection, from what I remember, are decently long for the type of game they are.
Well, and not to mention, too, you're getting 3 games out of that. And I want to say BioShock 1, probably roughly maybe about 20 hours. If you're taking your time, smelling the roses, it's like not speed running it or trying to like,
just get it done.
Yeah, just get it done here. And I think like Infinite's like similar to like maybe about 15, 20 hours as well. I haven't played number 2 yet, so.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
that one's the most different one, I feel like, because you're a big daddy in that one.
Right, but I hear like the DLC in that, like Minerva's Den, I think is what it's called. I hear that is like top notch, like BioShock.
I don't remember playing. I don't think I played that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
is that part of the?
It comes all the DLC and everything.
I think I'm
going
to get it for PlayStation because I still have that gift card I could just use on that.
Yeah, there you go.
But BioShock's a great game. If you don't like the thriller horror, don't play the first 2. Play just the third one. I feel like
the
third one's more of a shooter, not shooter. Yeah, shooter.
Yeah, no, I would say it's more shooter. It's less horror-y. I mean, granted, like I wouldn't put like BioShock, at least the first one, as like necessarily a horror game. Because,
dude, that game scared the crap out of me as a teenager.
I mean, like playing like Resident Evil.
Okay, that's
like,
different.
In comparison, like I mean, I would say this is more on the lighter side of like the horror spectrum.
Yeah, it's more jumpy for sure, just because like I would equate it to something like Doom, where something jumps out and scares you, and you're like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah,
or shoot them.
Kind of like Bloodborne, how like Bloodborne has like jump scares.
Yeah,
but
totally.
But it's not
not a horror game.
It's not necessarily a horror game, even though it takes a lot of H.P. Lovecraft inspiration and very gothic, 1700 monster, hunting and stuff like that.
Something I really like too, and you put this down in all caps.
Yeah,
Jedi Knight Academy is on
today.
The Switch. Well, yesterday.
Well, yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's out now.
Well, so
just go buy it.
And by the time this comes up, it has been like 4 days.
Sure, yeah.
Because we're shooting this the 27th of March, but
yeah.
It'll come out Monday. So it came out last Friday or Thursday or Friday, whenever it was.
Thursday.
Yeah. But this game, I remember being okay. This game was so ahead of its time.
This was my jam,
dude. You guys could create your own Jedi.
Yeah, and you're basically this is like
your Force abilities and all that stuff. Like
And bear in mind, this is not taking any cues from like the new Star Wars canon. No. This is when like they could just kind of do whatever they wanted. So you're basically a part of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy.
Yeah.
And then, and it's going to have fully functional online.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
I mean, do we need to like just pop?
I mean, it is quarantine.
It is quarantine. Yeah.
I'll have to talk to my wife about that one. It is quarantine season. It's $30 though.
Is it $30?
Yeah. So I was kind of let down by that.
What?
Jedi Outcast 2.
Yeah, like how much are they charging for that?
Well, that's on sale for $8 right now, but I think it's normally like 15.
I mean, okay, yeah, 15. I could kind of see
$30 like though for Jedi Knight Academy really put me off.
$30, like that's like that game's like almost like what 20 years old or so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a little too steep. I'm guessing I'll have to double check on the price point, but I want to say it's $29.99.
Yeah, no, that might have to be a sale pickup. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would say what was that? Is Ninjala the game that's going to be free to play?
Yeah, Ninjala is free to play. I actually
it totally reminded me of Splatoon.
Yeah, no, it definitely has a Splatoon vibe to it, and I actually played it when I was at PAX a couple years
year ago.
2 years ago, yeah. And I was really surprised to see this game come back because, like, I haven't heard anything from this game since I played it at PAX, and it was I thought like it just straight up got canceled, but no, I mean I think they're going the smart route of like making it free to play, kind of following after that Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone model. So yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, it's free to play, and you might as well just like check it out for a little bit, take it for a spin.
Yeah, totally. Something else that's pretty cool that Nintendo did in this direct was talked about. Number one, I'll talk about it. It's not on our notes, but
Sure.
the new Pokemon update that's still coming in June.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you. So, like, what were your opinions on that update for the Pokemon expansion?
I mean, they were just kind of, I think, reassuring people because a lot of people thought it was getting delayed.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Hey, this is still coming out in June. It's going to be I'll get it probably.
Yeah, I mean, the new Kung Fu Pokemon looks cool, especially when
He
you
looks
evolve
cool. I just don't know how.
I
If
mean,
that's
not-
worth the price of.
I mean, yeah, for like how much they're actually asking for.
Yeah. But something else we got in tandem with the Pokemon news, they talked a little about Animal Crossings and like an event that's happening for Easter or Egg Day, I think they called it.
Politically correct Easter. Yeah,
bullcrap.
Yeah. It's Easter.
It's
we
Easter,
we all
yeah.
know it's Easter.
But was the new Smash Fighter news coming from ARMS?
Yeah,
Which go ahead.
So I am really surprised that like they are going to be incorporating a character from ARMS now of all times, just because I feel like that was something that they could have totally done
Well, we thought it was going to be in the game when we were playing it.
right at launch.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's getting recognition because ARMS is a fun game. I think it's
Super fun game.
I think it's kind of one of the underrated games on
I need
Switch.
to play that.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. Your wife would probably enjoy it.
Yeah, she's got some time off because of all the. I mean, we both kind of do. I'm working from home, and she's working a limited schedule, so we'll have to tap into that. I'll just have to keep that in the forefront of my mind. But that game's really fun.
No, it was a good time. Yeah.
And so I'm super stoked that they're getting this. Like, so they have a couple trophies from ARMS in this game.
Yeah, like the Springman is an assist trophy and all that. So
I'm guessing it's gonna be like. Here's the deal. I think that's still a possibility of a player. Like, even though it is an assist trophy.
yeah,
Like, especially like because then. And then they're going to have different skins because pretty much they all do the same thing.
pretty much.
You
for the
can
most
adjust
part.
the arms. That's what I'm really excited to see is the actual mechanics behind the character and how they're going to incorporate the different punching and stuff like that.
Well, and just the range. I mean, it's probably going to be. I would say if Dalsum was a Smash Bros. Character, this is probably going to be the equivalent to him. I would imagine for the most part, just stretchy arms and just punching
totally
across the screen.
Well,
and all
I'm
that.
I'm thinking something along the lines of Byleth too, with just the different weapons that they have.
Yeah.
And like so, like your side B might be like a missile or something like that. I don't know,
like a different a glove attachment or something like that. How they had like one that like shoot rockets or something like that.
Totally. And then one that has like ninja stars.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the route to go.
Yeah.
Now this we don't know when this is coming out, right? Or did it say?
June.
It is June as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty cool, right before summer.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that they're putting this franchise in there. I mean, this is their big IP, like their new IP for the Switch. So I was super like, here's what I'm hoping for this slew of DLC characters is the last whole bunch of them were from different. They weren't from Nintendo titles, correct? They weren't from first party.
No, they were not from first party. I mean, basically everybody except Byleth was a third party, basically a third party pick. Either didn't have like really all that much association with Nintendo, like Joker, Hero, Banjo Kazooie, and Terry Bogard.
Yeah.
None of those guys really had like a major stamp on or really a major presence on Nintendo.
Right.
With like maybe the exception of Banjo Kazooie on the N64, but I mean that's owned by Microsoft now.
Right. Yeah, I think at least what I'm hoping for this kind of run of characters is we do get more IP characters, and we're seeing that already with ARMS, which I'm glad they're starting off with this because I feel like if it was anyone else, people would just kind of be like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, yeah, and I mean it's if they were going to have somebody from ARMS come in, it's probably a good thing that they are doing it as the first character, just because
get Pipe built back up.
Well, right, but also just the fact that if somebody from ARMS was going to be the last DLC character in this batch, which as far as we know, we don't know whether or not we're going to be getting more DLC characters beyond this.
Right.
I think people would be super let down, especially considering how this is a character that could have totally, been at the game at launch here. But one of the things that I'm really surprised on is how they rolled out this announcement, because it was just really casual. It wasn't like the traditional like Smash reveals for the DLC characters.
No,
like,
it was just like, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay.
like, yeah. Quick side note: let's talk about this game that you probably all forgot about called ARMS.
Probably part of that's part of the quarantine of maybe in Japan too, where they couldn't film like they wanted to film.
That possibly, yeah. Well, and also just the fact that it. I think also just the fact that I don't think there's like a huge clamoring for like an ARMS character in Smash. So I think this is kind of a way to kind of soften that a little bit. That way it's not like a buy list situation all over again where people thought, oh snap, this is going to be crazy. People like nobody's going to have any idea what this character is. And it just turns out to be, just Byleth here and just like, a very safe, in-house pick.
Totally. All right. So with all that said, what are your overall thoughts on this Nintendo Direct Mini?
So if we had like an actual direct, like in February or January or something like that, like an actual big 2020 direct preview, this wouldn't be so bad. I mean, it would honestly just be like, just a little something to tide you over. But I mean, just given the fact that this is like the only thing that we've gotten for like a 2020 preview, it's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Because it's really doesn't show you like what to expect for, a really, really big game throughout the year. I mean, I think honestly, yeah, it's just kind of cementing my theory that Nintendo's going to have a little bit more of a slower year than it did like, last year.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone's kind of anticipating. Doesn't mean it's going to be a bad year, just not a banger year like some of the years prior.
Well, yeah, 2017, like Mario, Splatoon, ARMS, and Breath of the Wild all in the same year. Like,
was that 2017?
That was all in 2017.
Oh,
that was
goodness.
Launch year. And then even last
year was pretty dang good too.
No, we got Mario Maker.
I don't think people can complain, to be honest, with how many games we've gotten in 2 years of launch of a system.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, 3 now. Here.
Yeah, well, coming up on... Yeah, I guess it is March, so yeah, 3.
Yeah.
I'm okay if this is kind of a slower year. Like, if we get like 2 big titles for the fall, winter...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's... Because we already got Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
If third-party stuff really does, and even the indies kind of hold stuff together...
Well, yeah, and if you look at 2018, this is very reminiscent of kind of like how the setup is for this year so far. It's like you had like 2 major Nintendo games. You had Pokemon and you had, Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu,
Let's Go. Mm-hmm.
and Smash Bros.
Right.
And that was... And
that's pretty much it.
No, and you had like a bunch of third-party and indie titles that really hold you over until that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's probably reminiscent of that. I'm guessing come summer we're going to get a reveal at least.
I mean, Breath of the Wild
2 has got to come out.
It has to come out this year. Otherwise, it's going to be, very, very like awkward year if they don't have something to cap it off with.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to really figure out what else would be that game that would bring people to the Switch.
I mean, I don't think, obviously a new Mario Kart, but I mean,
that's what we were talking about.
But I don't think we have like any like, real confirmation that that's going to be happening just quite yet. Plus, I mean,
if they come out of left field with Metroid Prime 3
or 4, or just have like
or a collection at least.
Well, yeah, have like the trilogy, like essentially like remade, like completely done over graphics and all that.
That'd be sick.
Oh, dude, like day one purchase for me here, but yeah, it would be absolutely sick. And there is rumors of 2 like mystery games, and so far, we haven't really heard. They're just that. They're just rumors,
right.
But a new Paper Mario game, which is supposed to actually take more inspiration from like the traditional like first 2 games of the Paper Mario series, and then a 2D Metroid game for Switch, which that'd be cool. Well. Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
So for me, for this direct, pretty disappointed, honestly.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they'd announce some kind of sale, like a quarantine sale.
I mean, that'd be nice. I don't know. I mean, keep your eye maybe on next week, and there might be something that pops up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to continue on with some news, but this has nothing to do with video games.
Mm-hmm.
Something that has surfaced lately is the real reason Steve Carrel left The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how much validity there is going to be to this. Like obviously, like they talked about a book and all that stuff.
Right.
But
I mean, for those of you who don't know, basically all this information is coming from a book called The Office: The Untold Story of the Greatest Sitcom of the 2000s,
which is true.
I mean, yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Definitely the most important sitcom for certain. But so this is not coming from like any like official like.
No NBC source is saying this.
No direct source, or even Steve Carrell himself hasn't backed this.
I don't think he would back this. Regardless, he's not going to come out and trash a company that did everything for his career.
Probably not.
This is the show that put him where he is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the story goes is NBC. Well, let me back that up. Steve Carell, I guess, in an interview at one point said that he was thinking about leaving The Office.
Well, he said his contract was up season 7.
Right. And basically NBC really didn't like make him like any big offers or like even meet
or
the deadline.
Any offer, period.
Yeah. They just kind of just let it happen here. They didn't really fight for him to actually stay on the show. So according to like the source that they have in the book, which apparently is like a guy who did like, boom micing and, sound for the show. He said that basically Carell just kind of took that as like a subtle sign just to say, okay, well, I guess they don't want me around anymore, so I'll just leave and not make a big deal about it here, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And Carell was planning on sticking around for another season or two. That was his goal.
Yeah.
So I'm just really surprised this news is surfacing now. Obviously, I don't know when the book comes out. I mean, it honestly sounds like a book that I might pick up.
I mean, it'd probably be an interesting read. Yeah.
I love The Office.
Yeah.
Who knows how much truth is there? Why wouldn't they re-sign their biggest star?
Well, right. Yeah, exactly.
Like without Michael's cringiness in The Office, it was very hollow. The season 8 and 9.
Yeah. No. Season 8 and 9 are definitely the low points.
They're the most forgettable too.
No, they are. I mean, and
mostly because I don't like Andy Bernard at all.
No, and also not to mention the fact that whenever I do my rewatch of The Office, like 8 and 9,
season 7,
like
and then you restart.
Pretty much.
Maybe you watch the last two episodes,
the last couple episodes where it's the actual finale, because those episodes are actually worth watching.
Yeah,
but no, it's I mean, obviously this show probably would have been a lot better if Michael was still there. I mean, granted, the show was a little bit on no, not a little bit. It was on a decline.
Steep decline
for like,
couple seasons.
For a couple seasons. But, you get from like a decline to like a straight down, like, dead drop.
I think part of that too is probably part of the crew and writers leaving to go do Parks and Rec.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, Greg Daniels went from that show to the other show. Well, not Greg Daniels. Was it Greg Daniels? No, it was Michael Schur who played Mose.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the execs and one of the writers, and so he went on to create Parks and Rec.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
And so I think right around that time is when a lot of those guys left. Yeah. And if you pay attention to directors and writers, a lot of them are shared.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably part of it too. And honestly, probably a lot better writing on Parks and Rec than there are most shows out there.
No, I would agree with that.
Including The Office. And I know that kind of sounds blasphemous for those of you who love The Office, but as far as rewatchability, Parks and Rec is where it's at.
No, I mean, it took me a while to like actually come to this conclusion, but I do think Parks and Rec is the better show.
I think it edges The Office out slightly.
Yeah. I mean, definitely more rewatchable, and obviously one of those shows that gets better, the more you watch it. The more you watch it, and the more that you progress through the seasons. Whereas like The Office is kind of the opposite. It starts out with a bang and then like slowly fades.
Well, season 2, was the starting. Season 1, there wasn't really a whole lot there.
I mean, it was like the pilot season. It only had six episodes, I think. But like some of them are like gold, like diversity training.
Oh, that one's hilarious.
That is the
basketball's pretty funny too.
Basketball is pretty funny too. Yeah, but that is the show, that is the episode that got me into The Office. I'm like, okay, this is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
I need to like know everything about this show.
Right. So I started watching it live season 3, I think, when it started, because So I'd heard about it, and then I bought season 2 on DVD, I think.
Yeah, just
And season 3 was just starting.
Yeah.
And so I watched all of season 2.
and then like you were
and then
ready
got
for
into
season 3.
yeah.
No, I mean, the first 3 seasons I think are definitely the best parts. Season 4 is where you kind of start to notice, okay, now this is not getting as witty or as snappy.
Season 4 is still pretty good. Season 5 is good.
Season 5 I actually think is pretty underrated because you got some really, really good.
Season 4 might have been when the writer's strike happened.
I think you might be right because they had like that weird format where like you had what you call it you had like like 10 episodes in that season, but like pretty much they were like all an hour long here, and
Yeah,
they
it was different.
They stretched out like a premise like way too far out, and I think that's one of the things that killed it, which is like, whereas if you had like if you had like just kind of like maybe a weak premise for an episode, it'd be done in like a half an hour, whereas like in season 4 it was like, okay, we're gonna really stretch this thing out here, and you're gonna have to kind of suffer through it for a little bit. But yeah,
Trying to see if that book's out. Oh, it is.
oh yeah, okay.
The Office, the untold story of the greatest sitcom of 2000s in oral history. It is out on Kindle and other things, so you can go
things.
pick it up now.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our roundtable review.
All right.
All right, we're back from our commercial break, and we're heading into roundtable review. Dorian, take it away.
All right. So another week, another Clone Wars episode.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us the cliff notes of this episode?
So this episode is a follow-up to the last, where it follows Ahsoka Tano and those two sisters.
Hooray.
Yeah. She's still with the sisters. They're going to go pull a job. Ahsoka's sticking around for a little longer. She's still trying to fix up her bike.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a sketchy situation. I mean, they live in the 1313, which is like the worst district of Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
They get this job basically, and they're going to run some spice that apparently the what do you call it? The pure form of spice can be also used medicinally as well as an actual drug.
Yeah, it's not just necessarily for like just creating a drug
Getting high.
empire. Yeah.
Yeah, so where they think they're being told that they're going to turn into medicine, and then Ahsoka knowing all this stuff and knowing the people they're talking to, like they go to Kessel, which is like a pretty scummy planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's cool that they had that planet in there because that's part of the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
Han Solo mainly, and so there's like the sketchiness going on, and some they're picking up the spice. They dump the spice because one of the sisters is stupid, and she's like, well, if these people are going to come after us, I'm just going to get rid of the spice. So she ejects it from their...
That was our bargaining chip.
Yeah, pretty much. And so he's like, now they're going to take your ship. And all that. She's like, no one's taking my ship, because she like built this ship from the ground up type of thing.
Yeah, it's her baby.
Yeah, and so they dump the spice, and they try to actually get paid and get away. It doesn't work. They have a tractor beam on them, and that's kind of the end of the episode. It's a really quick episode, it feels like.
Yep.
Now, my theory last week was they're going to be the tie for Maul to enter in. Now, 100% Maul's going to be the ringleader of whoever they're going to run this. Yeah, the Pikes.
Okay.
So that's almost without question now that he's kind of the one pulling the strings behind all that. Because we do know from some of the comics that he was running a couple crime syndicates.
Well, even in
during this time,
even in Solo, he was running that crime syndicate.
Yeah, Black Spire, I think is what it's called, or something like that.
I forget exactly.
But yeah, so that's essentially what we're getting, and I think that's where we're going to get Maul in the Ahsoka fight.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, the next 6 episodes, which are the final 6, better be fire. They better be fire, because if they're not, this was
a waste of time.
A waste of time for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like if you like Clone Wars and you like just the generic kind of like, standalone episodes that really don't like progress like a major storyline forward, this is fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I was coming in with the mindset of like, okay, we're gonna get some dope mall action. We're gonna get like overlap between Clone Wars and Episode 3. We're gonna get Order 66. We're gonna get like a lot of these big major events, and we're gonna get them from like Ahsoka Tano's perspective and the show's perspective.
Yeah.
And so far, we haven't got jack from that.
No, we've got nothing really.
And we're halfway through the season, so it's like, okay, what gives?
Right. So it's all set up basically. I'm sure because of this episode, I feel like things started to pick up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And now, so there was a scene where they're kind of trying to fly out of Coruscant. Anakin uses the Force to reach out to see who's on that ship.
Yeah.
And he senses it's Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And lies to the generals about who it is, and you're like, oh yeah, we don't need to check that out. That's fine.
Yeah,
so I think they're gonna obviously meet up again before
things,
all the crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Anakin actually will warn her to get out of here, basically.
That'd be an interesting thing to kind of put on the,
Especially, I don't know if we'll get full on now with kind of reassessing our theories about this season. I don't think we're gonna get full Episode 3 Anakin. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, at the rate that they're going, it seems like, these next couple episodes have a lot of ground to make up for if we're going to get to that point.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just, again, I'm not the biggest Clone Wars fan. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even call myself a fan of this show. I just kind of like it for, just like little bits and pieces here. But
yeah. All right. Well, enough of that. Let's talk about some other reviews, pickups. Yeah. For this quarantine for the people out there now.
Kind of our news segment, depending on how busy the news week is, which
not very busy this week.
Not very busy this week, but we might throw out some some things or types of entertainment to enjoy during the quarantine. I mean, our state's just recently got the shelter-in-place order for the most part here.
Yeah, within this last week. Yeah. So it's about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you're at in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. And so whatever that means. It's weird driving around like it's a ghost town.
Yeah,
it is so odd.
No.
Which good for them, for those people, for actually listening and doing what they're supposed to do. Because I felt like we'd be Washington, Idaho, Oregon would be the harder states to kind of control around that.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of what we do is outside. A lot of our entertainment and stuff is outside.
Well, especially considering how, in this area, when weather starts warming up,
people get out.
Oh, yeah, just because sometimes it could be feast or famine when it comes to nice weather around here.
Pretty much.
So, but, just going over a couple of picks. I got 2 games on here, just multiplayer games that, pretty easy to pick up and play. Multiple people, so if you're stuck in home with the kids or something like that, or roommates, and you just want to have a good time, these are some pretty solid options. So
yeah.
So my first one that I have is Gang Beast.
Dude. Okay, this game is probably the best party game of all time.
It's definitely up there for sure. But it's a $20 game. It's on Steam and PS4 currently. It needs to come to Switch. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not on Switch yet. But essentially what it is it's a game, I would say maybe like a 3D version of Smash Brothers where you're trying to throw people off like a platform or a stage.
The
kinda.
Controls are way different.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
It's a
like the
concept. Beat 'em up.
Yeah.
It's a beat 'em up. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what you're doing is you control characters' limbs, and you try to throw your opponents off the platform. It has really janky controls, and it's absolutely hilarious. We'll do all sorts of crazy stuff to each other in that game. And
every game you're surprised by what you do because the controls are not the most responsive.
No, they're not tournament competitive.
No.
Yeah.
It's just straight fun.
Yeah. And this is I would say low bar for entry. I don't mean that in a bad way because you don't have to be super good at video games.
You don't have to be good, period.
Yeah, to pick up and play this and have a good time.
This is a great family game for those of you listening who have families that are all at home right now.
Yeah.
There might be some fights, but when is there not when we're playing games? But
yeah,
this is such a hilarious game for PS4. So those of you who are out there listening, if you have PS4, it's $20. Good family game.
Yeah, I think
super fun.
I think it typically goes on sale fairly often, so it may even be on sale now. So I would
Could
check
be.
it
There's
out.
a pretty
But-
big sale going
Well, I
on.
mean, no, if you're more curious about like this game, whether or not you or your family like it, just look at some YouTube videos because I mean it's a good time just watching it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So next up on the list, I have Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Yep.
So-
Another great game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game from the sense of I've had fun playing it with friends. Now, I wouldn't play this alone.
Sure, no, I wouldn't either.
So if you have like a family, again, pretty fun game.
Yeah, no, again, like
Not as good as Gang Beasts.
No, like my focus with these picks are essentially like lesser known multiplayer games, fairly cheap, and good time with like people that doesn't require you to be like a really good like game player. Or
Like your
a
10-year-old
gamer.
kid could pick up a controller and play just as well as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Here, or if you're a parent, you don't have to like really be like super good. Like if you can play like old school 2D Mario, you can play this game here.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game typically priced at $15. It's on Steam, PS4, and Switch. It's basically 2D platform. You play as farm animals, and your objective is to like pretty much any platformer is to get to the goal.
Yep.
But where things kind of get shaken up or changed up a little bit on this one is you have to actually build the level to actually reach the goal and also place death traps to essentially prevent the other players from getting there. So basically you have to make the level hard enough to make it so that you're like one of the few or only ones that actually makes it, but it has to be difficult, but it has to be easy enough for you to actually make it. So, but no, it's a great game to troll your friends with here.
Yeah.
And again, low bar for entry. I mean, no, I think it's a good time, and yeah, I think if you're stuck at home, want a game to play with the family or whoever you're quarantined with, you could do worse.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's probably a lot of good games out there right now. I mean, we were talking earlier, like, I mean, if you want a one-player game, if you don't have a family, if you're just at home chilling, or maybe you just need to kill some time.
Yeah.
There's games like BioShock, the BioShock collection.
Yep.
There's Doom.
Yep.
These are definitely more mature audience-focused games. Not because of, like, anything inappropriate, just like blood and gore and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that would not be good for
maybe,
a kid to play.
Maybe occasional like bad word or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, and then I mean another game that you can definitely play, not on the list, but if you're trying to like stick it to like people in the family, Overcooked.
Oh yeah,
but
Overcooked's great.
yeah.
Overcooked 2 is on sale right now.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean, granted, you might actually hate your family after this game just because you're supposed to work together, but the game legitimately makes it hard for you
It's
guys
great
to work
team
together.
building.
Oh, it's super good team building.
it is
I mean, it definitely tests the
communication skills.
communication skills and the strength of your relationships with people here
Yeah.
for sure. But
No, that's good though. But yeah, I guess that's it for our episode this week. It was a little short, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do in times of crisis?
I mean, whatever you can. But
So yeah, but thanks for listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We greatly appreciate you checking us out. Check us out on all our social medias and our YouTubes. And have an awesome week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.
stay safe out there.